Hey guys, I'm Courtney Tezeno and welcome to my channel. I'm really excited that I finally have posted something. I think my neighbors are talking. Sorry. I think that's, I don't know if y'all can hear 911. If you guys are tuned in right now, you probably have clicked this video because you are an aspiring host, TV journalist, you want to get on camera, or you are probably one of my church friends. And I shared this video. So if you are actually one of the first few that I named, an aspiring host or journalist, stay tuned to my testimonial. Let's go on the journey.
I got a list of names and roses in red underlined. I check it once, then I check it twice. Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Okay, so I'm back. I'm somebody who walks on faith, and my friends call me Tez. This is my testimony. That's how it all started. And I really felt like I wanted to make this video, well, one, because you guys have requested it and I've received a lot of emails. I'm going to be sharing my journey with you guys of how I got my start. And if you want to know more about the journey, go ahead and like and subscribe this video. Like it. So how did I get my start? I actually started in high school at the Media Academy at Hightower High School, where we learned everything from TV and film, the behind the scenes, post-production, being on camera. We learned everything at a very young age, and I feel like that definitely gave me an advantage when applying to college. I ended up going to the University of Missouri, a tough as nails school, and it lives up to its reputation of being not only the first journalism school, but one of the #1 schools for journalism. I learned how to write. I learned how to be a one-man band, how to produce, how to do a live shot at city council meetings, at fires. Once I was actually put out in the field in local news for an NBC affiliate, I realized that I loved storytelling. And that was about it. I loved storytelling, but I would rather talk about pop culture.
I've been losing my mind.
And so I learned that towards towards the end of me being in Missouri, and my news director at the time told me that if I wanted to be in entertainment news, then I needed to go to Los Angeles or New York. So for me, that's kind of where it started, because I finally found my purpose, my passion. We were on the same track. Now, how do you get there? Here's the thing where my faith comes in. Instead of taking some of the local news jobs that I initially got straight out of college, I went ahead and said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and take that risk. I'm gonna go to Los Angeles. Before I go to Los Angeles, I'm gonna make a pit stop and live with my mom and dad and be unemployed. I moved home to Houston, Texas. My parents, of course, welcomed me with open arms. At least I think my dad did. I'm playing. They love me. I went home. And I really just kind of got my bearings and tried to figure out what it was I wanted to do. It was a very scary time of just not knowing what I wanted to do, but I think fear is the only way. Using that fear is the only way that you can really be pushed towards your purpose. So faith moved me to Los Angeles. Faith alone, because Lord knows I didn't have money. I had $300 to my name before I moved out to Los Angeles. I started pursuing my career, and my first job, I worked in retail. I worked in retail on Hollywood Boulevard, living the dream, selling shoes at DSW. I then was working at another retail job to pay the bills, which was at Michael Kors. I just want to shout out anyone that I worked for, because I mean, there's no shame. We gotta do what we gotta do. Surprisingly enough, most of my wardrobe was coming from there. When I was on carpets, when I was doing interviews, I was wearing the clothes that I had to actually work in. And everything else that I was doing that was hosting related, I hustled to get, and it was free. And I'm very grateful for all of those free opportunities, because one of the things they don't tell you is experience sometimes is not in the form of cash, not in the form of stability. It is literally just experience. And so I wish I had known that before I went on the faith journey, but there's some things that God doesn't reveal to you for a reason, because he knows you would be too scared to do it. And there was a point when I had to live out of my car. thanked God for job security in retail, whatever it is, but I did not have a place to live. But yeah, that was a part of the journey. That's part of the journey that a lot of people won't tell you about. But it's real. I mean, it's hard. I was out here pursuing this dream. You know, it was only a thing to a lot of people that heard I wanted to move out to California. I didn't want to accept a local news job. It wasn't something that they could see, but me and God could see. And that's what I want everybody to know, is when you and God are in sync, that's all that matters. That is all that matters, because there are going to be a lot of people who give you input on your journey and what you should be doing, and they are not navigating your car. You and God are the people that are navigating that car, your journey, your path. And that's what you have to hold fast to. Your purpose is not lying in man. Your purpose lies in your faith and what God has for you and the timing that he has for you. But anyways, I worked for free hosting after shows at AfterBuzz TV and Black Hollywood Live, and I really gained some invaluable experience. I met some of my best friends to this day doing that, and I was able to build my reel. Not only was I doing after shows and co-hosted shows, I was able to meet people in the industry who were able to give me jobs that I still have now. Like, just from seeing me on carpets and seeing me report or doing a stand-up, I was stopped. And specifically Juice TV, which is a branch from TBN, stopped me on a red carpet that I was working for free and said, we have an audition. I feel like you would be a really good fit. And I got that gig. And I say all of that to say, a lot of the opportunities that I got were from being out in the field, were from being noticed, were from God. That's the only reason I am where I am, because there was no manager, there was no hosting agent. There was literally, take this next step, Courtney, take this next step. I'm gonna introduce you to this person. Go here for free, but I'm gonna let you meet this person, and this audition is gonna launch. I mean, it's amazing when you look back and see what God really does for you. I didn't have a manager. My agent is Jesus. My agent is God. That is the secret. That's the sauce. I didn't use Jesus, he used me. He used me. Always give him the glory, because even if I did have a hosting agent, he set me up with that hosting agent. And so for me, it was knowing and encountering different people in the industry who helped me get meetings. And one of my first full-time jobs out in California was at Holly Scoop. It started off as a freelance role, which a lot of people think that, oh, you come out here, you get that full-time job, you apply. No, it's so many people who are just applying. You gotta know someone, apply yourself, prove yourself. And so that freelancing is how I proved myself in order to get that full-time position. What a lot of people don't know is the full-time position that I got, it wasn't even available when I received it. There were a couple other hosts who were hired in the positions that they actually previously had. And because I had freelanced with them for, at that time, a year, they made a position for me as a full-time red carpet reporter. It was only because I had put in the hard work, I had put in the time, I had built the relationship that I believe I got that position. I was able to be a hybrid host for the company. Not only was I doing red carpets, I was producing and co-hosting shows. I was also on their brand, Moda Mob, a beauty brand. And so I just got so much experience. Moving from there, a lot of people want to know, you know, whether I'm just super lucky in how I got my job at Entertainment Tonight Online. And no, again, it wasn't one of those things where I was lucky. I still was at Holly Scoop, full-time, 5 days a week, and a position at the time had opened up for Entertainment Tonight on weekends. And so me being the crazy that I am, I was literally working 7 days a week for 9 months. Working a full-time job 5 days a week and then working weekends at ET Online. And so I would say I definitely put in my time and worked my butt off to get that position. I definitely lost out on my social life. There were people asking me like, Courtney, where are you? What are you doing? And I always said working. Now, I was not lying. I promise you I was actually working. And if I wasn't working, I was trying to catch up on sleep. But I want to talk to you about the no's that came along the way in my journey. Before getting what is like the dream, before getting the dream job, which is, you know, to be at a prestigious entertainment news company, I was at another prestigious news company where I was working as a PA for E! News Now. And I remember a full-time position had come open. And I just for sure knew that I was going to be a shoo-in for that and that I was going to be able to apply. And I went to my boss and said I was interested, and she told me no. She told me no because she said, I know how bad you want to be an on-camera personality. I know how bad you want to be on air, and I don't want to take that from you. I want a producer who is going to be able to stay with us for at least 2 years. And so I think she knew deep down that that wasn't me. And I'm grateful for her to this day for that particular no. And I feel like taking that full year to continue to hustle and meet new people and work on my craft and get the position at Holly Scoop, it really prepared me for my next step, which is I am a producer and a host at Entertainment Tonight Online. So God will use those steps to really create the right path for you. So I just say all that to say God has a bigger purpose for you. Every time that you're crying over that no, he has a yes waiting for you, and he just needs you to have that stamina to believe him and to continue on the journey. But I promise you, his purpose is way bigger for you than you can even imagine. I mean, I was a background actor at one point, just trying to make extra money, and instead of thinking, oh, you know, I'm just gonna try to go be an actress or try this new thing and I just want to be known, I didn't want to be known. I was still about storytelling. I remember getting my SAG card actually from spending 3 days on set of the Blackish set. And at the time, I was on the Blackish after show, and I had been trying to book guests onto the show. And so, I mean, hush, don't tell nobody. I guess I'm telling you. I talked to some of the actors in between takes because I was able to be around them. I talked to the creator, Kenya Barris, and I tried to book them onto my after show. My passion was definitely there, and my hustle was even harder. And many of them don't even realize that I had on a wig on their season finale in season 1. You have to be creative. There are going to be opportunities where you're in the room with people, and maybe that's not the right way to go about it. But for me, I felt comfortable in that moment. They had seen me enough. They knew that I did the after show, and so it made sense for me. But only do things that make sense for you and pray before you do it, because I could have been kicked off that set, but I ended up with my SAG card, so all is good. I just want to encourage you guys and just give you a couple tips along your journey if you're an aspiring host or aspiring TV journalist and you've been told you got to do hard news, you got to be in Timbuktu in order to get to that next step. It's not for everybody, and you got to know what's the right path for you. If you still need a little bit more experience being live, or you need more experience as a producer or a host or a writer, maybe that is the right route. But if it's not, it's okay. That's the part we need to talk about. How do you prepare to be an entertainment journalist? I would say internships is one of the things that really sets people apart. So don't take your internships for granted. Don't slack off. Be the best intern that you can be, and you just never know what kind of doors can open. One of the things that they won't tell you in the entertainment industry is a lot of these news jobs are not just based off of you applying. You gotta know somebody in order to get into the door. I'm sorry for the 911 call. Clearly something is a lot more important right now, but it's fine. Another difference of being in entertainment news versus local news, which is traditional, is you really got to know your brand. And I know everybody now is using social media, even on the local news level, but in entertainment, you really need to know your brand. Sadly, there have been many times where I've wanted a job and they wanted to see my Instagram following or my Twitter following or my following in general, because they want to see who's engaged and how that fits with their brand. And, you know, do that. It's important to brand yourself. It's important to do all of those things, but don't let social media numbers discourage you. Just be a kind, authentic, hardworking person, and the right doors will open for you. Your reel is so invaluable. Your reel, in my opinion, is more important than your resume cover letter these days. If you have a good reel, if you have something that they can see, catch them in those first 30 seconds of your reel. I mean, that is going to get you the job. That is going to get you noticed. So there are several examples of reels, but you guys can go ahead and check out my reel on my channel. I'll put the link in the bio below, so check that out to see what my first reel looked like as opposed to my current reel, just to see the difference. I wish someone told me when I was starting out is that you gotta stay true to who you are. So many journalists fall into this cookie cutter way of presenting. Take a hosting class, first of all, because there's some phenomenal hosting teachers who can really show you where the industry is going and prepare you for that. I mean, I remember when I started in news, in local news, I had a big curly fro before the natural hair movement, and my news director at the time told me that it was unkept. That is another struggle for another day. When I was starting out, girls were cutting their hair. We were looking like we were 40 years old when we were in our early 20s. And so I don't think you have to do that anymore. I think people are embracing differences, and you should too if you want to be a host. What's going to make you stand out? It could be your voice. It could be your look. I mean, there are different factors, but the thing that you need to have as your foundation is some experience. And you get that experience by taking hosting classes. You get that experience if you're working in local news. There are entertainment news shows now that kind of give you that opportunity to talk about pop culture. So just don't ever feel like you have a limit or you have a box you have to stay in, because that's not true. And so I just want to encourage anyone out there who feels like they don't necessarily fit that mold. It's okay. We are breaking the mold. It is okay. The thing I want to say before I end this video is that sometimes the journey is a solo journey. Sometimes you gotta have that tunnel vision in order to reach those goals, and there are going to be a lot of people along the way who don't understand your journey, who don't understand your purpose, who don't have the vision that God has for you. So if you have dreams in your heart to be the next Oprah, you have dreams to be the next Ryan Seacrest, you have dreams to be the next whoever you are watching this, just know that you can attain that. It's a faith walk. You have to stay on the journey. You have to stay the course. Positive affirmations every day. I'll get into that in a different video about my personal lifestyle and how I keep a healthy mindset in this industry. Well, I hope this video was helpful about my journey, sharing my journey. Every person's journey is different. So subscribe and like this video. Leave any comments below if there's something else that you'd like me to touch on. Please leave them in the comment section below. I will try to make a video that is catered to you, and I will see you guys on the next Teztimonial. See you later.